I'm Suzi Landolfi, and welcome to Be Crazy Well. Now, why would a therapist say that? Because we all have mental health struggles, even therapists. The good news is we have so much more information about how we can be crazy well. On my podcast, we don't focus on what's wrong with us. We want to know what happened to us. We're going to explore how trauma affected us, both negatively and positively. That's right. I said positively. It's called post-traumatic growth, and it's a real thing. Be Crazy Well will share mental health wellness practices, the newest mental health research, and most importantly, how we all get to create the person we deserve to be and the life we deserve to live. So join the mental health evolution and be crazy well. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Be Crazy Well. And if you're anybody like the people in my family, you're probably in a Thanksgiving hangover right now of eating too much at one time and then going back for seconds. So that's one tradition of this holiday. And right after this, before we even get to digest all this food, we will just roll right into the next one. It's not like we even get to digest or eliminate the food we just ate before we've got to start doing more things for the upcoming holiday season. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that because I was interested in that. So I looked up the definition as I go there. I'm going to give you a couple of definitions of holiday because you know me, I usually look up stuff like this. So here we go. Holiday by a custom or by a law in which normal activities, which I don't even know what that means, especially business or work, including school, are suspended or reduced. So basically, it's a day that's intended to allow individuals to celebrate or commemorate an event or tradition. And it means most of the time that nobody's working. That was the point of a holy day or holiday. Okay. And then I went up and I looked up some more information about holidays. And here's what I discovered. 25% of Americans are definitely going to be working on Christmas, Hanukkah, all of them, Kwanzaa. And 45% say there's a chance they'll be working as well. So somewhere up between 25 to 45, maybe more, people are working on the day that's set aside or the days that are set aside in order to suspend any kind of work. It's a tradition of recreation as opposed to work. So then it said the Bureau of Labor Statistics says that the retail service workers make up about 5.3% of the total workforce. Half of all retail workers were between 16 and 34. So millennials are disproportionately working in retail, including until very recently. And so that says a lot here about who's going to be working when and how. And I was thinking, well, if this means that more people are working than not, then is this really a holiday? And I sort of question all of these traditions that we come up with, and we kind of hold on to the old version of what we say something is and don't really look at what's happening now. And I wanted to talk to you because so many people tell me as a therapist how stressful the holidays are, how much they contribute to, let's say, anxiety and depression about their lives or about the situation that they're in their lives. So for instance, how do we know that we're supposed to be buying all these presents for each other? Like, when was that a tradition? It was supposed to be a time of a holy day, supposed to be a time of self-reflection, supposed to be a time where we celebrated some kind of religious aspect or cultural aspect, whether it's Kwanzaa or whether it's Hanukkah or anything like that. Now, I will admit that we've got Santa in the tradition of Christmas, maybe Saint Nick or Father Christmas. We do have the tradition, if you will, in the Hanukkah tradition of giving a gift every day. I think it's 8 days. Yet these were symbolic. These were symbolic gestures of how to celebrate and how to not work that day and spend with family or in some kind of religious or cultural tradition. Now, you'd think that when we talk about a holiday, we should all be really happy that we're not working, that we are celebrating, and that we are pulling out the old traditions of our family, of our culture, of our community. That's not really happening. Not a lot. We're such a fluid society now about how things change so quickly. And with all the newfangled gadgets that we have, like phones and computer and internet, I really doubt many of us are doing a lot of the family traditions that, say, I grew up with. I know I'm a little older, so that makes sense. But even my grandson, I'm looking at him, he's only 18 years old, and I can't think of how many traditions we've really kept going since I was a kid or since his mother was a child. And I question now whether or not the holidays are filled with tradition. Seems to me that they can be filled with celebration, but it's more about have-tos than want-tos. People tell me all the time how much they don't look forward to the holidays, that they're too stress-filled. Now, stress-filled says to me that that's kind of a have-to. How many parts of your days, how many things are you doing from now until New Year's Day? How many days and how much effort are you going to put into have to versus want tos? Are you really baking cookies because you like to? Or is that a tradition that you do? Not really enjoying that. How many traditions are based on how much money you have? How many traditions or celebrations are based on who's allowed and who's not? And are you allowed to create your own traditions? What if what your family did over the holidays is more hurtful than helpful? Are you supposed to keep doing those traditions? Are you supposed to celebrate that way? And what about all 45% of our population that says they probably are going to have to work for the holiday? So it's not a real holiday for them. So I guess what I'm saying is that when are we going to start to create the life and the way of honoring holidays in the way that supports our principles? How do we do that? We had an interesting moment, my daughter and I, over Thanksgiving. We've had maybe over the last, I don't know how many years, 5, 10 years roughly, we've always invited what we call the people who don't have close family over for Thanksgiving. And we'd cook, my daughter and I, we'd cook a big meal. Now, I've been cooking this Thanksgiving meal for a long time. I think I started when I was 12. And we really went all out. And we had some wonderful people come over and share with us. And we felt that that was a great way to be grateful, was to offer a home to those that didn't have one on that particular day, or at least not their traditional family home. They had a home, but you know what I'm saying, not their family. And it was great. And it was a tremendous amount of work, and we gladly did it. This year, we didn't invite anybody. That's right. My daughter and I were the only ones eating what we cooked. My grandson went over to his dad's, and my daughter's fiance went over to his mom. She's actually got some health issues and he wanted to spend more time with her, and we supported that 100%. And my daughter and I cooked this meal, and we played a lot of dance music. We danced around the kitchen, and then we sat down, poured ourselves each a glass of wine, and sat down and gloriously ate the meal that we cooked. I remember my daughter, it was just yesterday, so she looked over and she goes, Mom, this is one of the best Thanksgivings I've ever had. I love this. And I thought, she's hit upon something. She's hit upon the idea of taking rest. And that's actually what an idea of a holiday is. It's when you suspend a lot of work. It wasn't a lot of work. And she and I got to focus on each other. We got to dance in the kitchen. And we set up a new tradition. We realized that our connection is more important than our celebration. I'm going to say that again. She and I realized that our connection was more valuable and a greater tradition than a big celebration. We shared the rest of the meal with my grandson and my daughter's fiance. That was great. It's still there. They still get to eat it when they want. And I thought, could we change how we view the holidays? Isn't it up to us? Doesn't it mean that we get to make some new traditions that are based on how we live now versus 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and for me, 70 years ago? And I was really proud of that. I wasn't mourning that we weren't doing what we quote unquote normally do. I was really grateful, like truly grateful, and thank you that I could spend that time with my daughter when for years it's been about spending it with everybody else. Now, I'm sure we'll have more big quote unquote celebrations. I know we will. I know that we'll probably have more people next year, or maybe we'll have more over during the holiday seasons coming up. But what I really learned and what I really want to honor is that we made a choice to create and celebrate the way we wanted to, not a have to, but a want to. One of the things I say to my grandson all the time is, you need a real good balance between have tos and want tos. I know so many people that live their lives completely immersed in have tos, that their anxiety is so great, their fear of what might happen if they don't do enough, that they are constantly in a have to situation. And they actually feel guilty or unworthy of want tos. I also know some people who do only what they want to do, that their idea of having to do what somebody else wants them to do is not okay with them. And there's not a sense of, well, we're all in this together. It's more of a sense of, I always feel like I'm always doing what everybody else wants. So I'm going to now do what I want to do. We often hear that from young people. Well, I agree with them. I agree that most of the time in our childhoods, we are controlled. We are told what to do most of the time. And it's a real eye-opening experience when all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, I don't want to do that. I don't have to do that. I'm going to figure out what it is I want to do. Now, either way, too many want tos and living only through want tos and too many have tos is not balanced. They don't support one another. And they certainly don't create a life that has a lot of, I'd like to say, diversity and variance in dynamic experience, highs and lows, all of those things that make life interesting. And certainly, neither one of them support true connection. If you always have to do something, trust me, you'll be in resentment most of the time. And that's not real connection. And if you're in want tos all the time, especially during this holiday season, and I just want to do this, you're not going to have much connection then either. It's in that delicate balance of have tos and want tos, of doing some things because it helps connection and not doing others because it frankly adds to disconnection. So when we go through this holiday season, why don't we start now using that great situational awareness, which I know veterans have, and they're this great superpower. And we can also add in that self-awareness. Could you actually look at the holidays now, not having them rush upon us like a tidal wave, not looking at them with, oh my God, grief and dismay because of the have tos, or feeling like you want to do everything and actually all it does is wear you out. So this would be a great time to think about, how are you going to create your holiday? And how are you going to be able to manage what the expectation is and the reality? And that's always a hard thing to do. So managing the balance between, the perception of what and the tradition of what holidays are supposed to be and the reality of what they are. So for many of you, you will work. This will not be a true holiday when work is suspended. For many, it won't be a religious experience. It won't be a time to be able to go deep into your faith or your spiritual life. And for many, it won't be connection at all. It will be a very hard time because we don't have connection with others, because our families are either gone or it's frankly dangerous to be around them emotionally. And for some of us, it could be resources. What are the resources that says this is how a holiday is supposed to be? I see all those pictures, yet I don't have the resources to create that kind of Christmas tree, to create that meal, to create that Hanukkah celebration, to be even able to afford to go to temple, whatever it is. What if we look at that now and you get to decide, you get to create what your holiday traditions are going to be? And what are the principles of the holidays? You could try to ignore them. Tried that a couple of times, didn't work. You could try to go along with them. I've done that too. That didn't work out as well either. Or we could really stop and take a look and go, what do I want to do this holiday that means more connection for me? And what is it that I kind of have to do in order to build more connection? What is that balance between have tos and want tos? I know this. I know that the greatest part of my Thanksgiving holiday was being able to read messages from people who sent me, I don't know, a little thank you, I'm grateful for you. Certainly sitting down with my daughter and us both being grateful for one another, all that we've been through together, all that we've created. And I thought, well, I think I'm going to keep that tradition going for the next month. I'm going to reach out every day to one person who I have not told them recently or maybe ever how much they mean to me, how much they've helped me. They may not even know. I may not even know them that well. But one thing or another they did that helped me create the person I am now and the life that I enjoy, truly enjoy. I spell that INJOY. So I challenge you all, starting December 1st, can start sooner if you want. What if, kind of like an advent calendar, we text or called, even better called, one person a day until December 31st. That's 31 people that we call or text and thank in our lives and let them know how much they have helped us in our life. They are the true gifts. the gifts of people who are here for us, for the betterment of our country, our community, and the gifts of, well, frankly, helping us be better people. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create my new tradition, and I'm going to, like I said, text, write, call, whatever I believe is the thing that would mean most to that person. I'm going to let them know how much they've been a gift to me and my life. That feels good just even saying it, just thinking about it. I've already got 10 in my head already, and I just started. So I'd love to hear from you. If you do that, I want you to let me know. I want you to let me know what it feels like, how it's helped, how it's worked, and let me know. And you can, in the, the bio part of this and the promotion part of this podcast, we'll put in my phone number, which we do a lot, and my email, and you can let me know how this worked out for you, your new tradition, your new way of celebrating. And maybe it's not about not working. Maybe it's not about the gifts that we're buying. Maybe it's not about even all the decorations and all the other traditions, which I do like. I'm kind of a sparkly person, believe it or not. It's really about that connection and how we express it and how we honor it. So I'm going to wish you the beginning of a happy holiday season, whatever your holiday is, or holidays, because you can have more than one. And I hope that you connect. That would be my greatest hope for you, is that we all thrive on connection. So bless you, and see you until another time when we are all being crazy well. Thank you, Kalvin Love, for your theme song. I love it. Be your best self. That's what we're talking about right now. And I appreciate you all, and see you next week. Bye-bye.